What's going on, guys, and welcome to July's delayed episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game at random every month, and at the end of the month, we talk about it, except for this month. Chevy picked it. We'll get into that. I'm Seth. This is Chevy, and we played Death Stranding 2. Chevy, before we get into all of that, how you doing? Are you excited to finally talk about Death Stranding 2, a game that I beat, a game that you are getting through, and you picked the game, so hopefully it's working out for you. And are you excited to find out what we're playing in August?
I'm doing good. Not to talk too much about Death Stranding just yet, but I did put a pretty good effort into beating it. It just didn't happen, unfortunately. I'm about 50 hours in right now, so
I beat it in 50-something hours, so
I have a feeling I'm playing a lot slower. So.
I had to decide to stop doing all the side stuff, though, because I was like, I want to beat this for the show, so I did. But luckily, you can keep playing after you beat it, so...
So yeah, I did not beat it. I want to say I'm halfway. So, but you'll be able to tell me that when we actually start talking about it. As far as what comes out or what we get to play next month, I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. Obviously, it's a list of games we've decided on, minus 2 of them, which you guys decided on, which I would like to get one of those knocked out, to be honest.
Yeah, really weird how last year we knocked both of them out back to back, and then this year neither of them have happened. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's just jump into it. For anybody who's new here, we have a wheel that we spin, and these are all back burner games we've chosen. And whatever it lands on, we will play throughout this month. And at the end of the month, we will review our impressions of it. That does not necessarily mean we'll beat the game, but we will try. But we're going to talk about it like we're doing this month. And then every 3 months, I pick, we pick, Chevy picks, and then you guys pick, which now that Chevy's picked, you guys are up next. I'll let you guys know when that comes up for hopefully we get those knocked out before you guys put more on here, because then we're just going to have a bunch of community picks on there. But yeah, anyway, we're going to be spinning this wheel in a sec. For anybody who's listening, the games on our list are Armored Core 6, Titan Quest 2. I just added that because it's out in early access. Tekken 8, Elden Ring, Night Rain, which would be great if it landed on that. I'd like to play that. 7 Days to Die, Core Keeper, Civilization 7. DayZ, Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, Earth Defense Force 6, Pokemon Infinite Fusion, Unicorn Overlord, and Project Zomboid. Our list is growing.
Also, just as a caveat, DayZ is PlayStation Plus game right now.
Yeah, we won't do that if it lands on it.
Yeah, we'll skip it.
Yeah, because it would be really lame for us to review it for PlayStation Plus or Plus Club, and then also do a separate episode for it. So we'll just put it on the back burner, and then play it on PC later, and we'll have 2 separate reviews for console and PC. All right, with all that said, let's spin the wheel and find out what we're playing. You ready? Mm-hmm. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. It is spinning real fast, but it's going to slow down real soon, and we're going to find out what we will be playing. It's going to be
hilarious.
DayZ. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Psych.
So for the first time ever, I think, for the channel, I'm going to re-spin the wheel because we have a very interesting situation. We are not taking this off the wheel, though. So it's just funny that, like I mentioned multiple times now, if it lands on DayZ, we're not going to do it. And then it lands on DayZ.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Let's spin again in 3, 2, 1, and go. Lands on DayZ again. That'd be fucking crazy. And it's slowing down, and it's landing.
Interesting.
On Titan Quest 2.
Okay.
All right. I literally just added that. All right. I guess we're playing Titan Quest 2. You're cool with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Titan, even though I don't think it has multiplayer, it has like a beta mode for that, though.
I'm not going to worry about that too much.
But at least we can talk about the early access of it.
Yeah.
So that's very topical. We'll be playing Titan Quest 2 in August. Very interesting. And yeah, in case you don't know, Titan Quest 2 is the sequel to Titan Quest, of course. It is a top-down ARPG, Diablo-esque game. You hit things, kill them, get loot. It's based in like Greek mythology and Roman stuff. So it's a thing. And like I said, it's in early access. So I think it's like $24 if you guys are curious about picking it up and trying it out with us this month. It's very cheap. I don't know if it's going to say that price as it comes out to 1.0. What do you think about it?
I mean, you showed me a little bit of it earlier today, and it looks intriguing. I like ARPGs minus a couple, but like
Yeah.
for the most part, I usually find enjoyment in all of them. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I remember the first one pretty decently. So
Yeah, I fucking love the first game. So, and I'm already playing this one. I'm already like 2 hours into it, barely into it, but we'll be reviewing it. Our early access thoughts of it at the end of the month. All right, listen in the comments. What do you guys think about Titan Quest 2, playing that? Don't tell us what you think of it. We'll be talking about that at the end of the month. All right, let's jump into what we played, and that was Death Stranding 2. If you didn't get a chance to play Death Stranding 2, hopefully you played Death Stranding 1 because it's a sequel to Death Stranding 1. This one takes place in Mexico. We find Sam and Lou kind of getting out of the life, but still working, and certain events happen that thrust Sam and Lou into Australia to expand the chiral network there. That's all I can say because everything else is just heavy fucking spoilers. It is a Hideo Kojima game. Its story is a Hideo Kojima story. And it is a third-person action game, not a walking simulator, in which you mostly go to locations, get packages, take them to other locations, or go on missions, like go retrieve things from enemy bases. There's other things too I can't think of right now. But it involves walking, driving, skateboarding, sometimes on certain things that maybe I shouldn't talk about. And there's guns, there's stealth mechanics. This game kind of feels like a soft Metal Gear Solid sometimes, which is really funny. And it's very cinematic, as a Hideo Kojima game should be, and has terrain mechanics that come into play when you're moving across terrain that can get in the way of you driving or walking or tripping, where you can damage packages and get lower grades for delivering them to certain places. It's got a bunch of weapons, gear, and things to unlock as you progress through different places that you get packages from. As you deliver to them, they have their own rating that will go up, and up, and then eventually you will get more stuff from that individual person. And also has an online component that's happening ambiently. People are also playing their version of Death Stranding 2, and as they're playing, some of you are interacting with each other's equipment. They're seeing your stuff, you're seeing their stuff, not all of their stuff, but some of their stuff. And when they contribute to certain things, certain projects they're building, which this game has a bunch of things you can build, you can also contribute to those projects and finish them, and vice versa, like highways, bridges, all sorts of stuff. Also, there's a horror element with the BTs that will have certain fields where you have to sneak around or fight your way through basically ghost monsters. Anything I should mention other than that?
no, that was a lot already. So
Yeah. All right. What's your impressions of Death Stranding 2 in July?
yeah. So first, foremost, this game is very, very nice looking. That engine, already, I remember, Horizon being a very good looking game, and they definitely have taken advantage of what that engine can do with this game. Playing it on the classic PlayStation 5 on performance mode, and it still looks really good. So pretty crazy. If you're into visual fidelity, this game is definitely that.
Yeah, it's one of the only games I chose to play in the graphics mode as opposed to the performance mode, just because of how good it looks.
Right. So progress-wise, without saying too much, I am in a chapter called Interlude, which happens just after chapter 7. So it's like 7.5, I'm just going to call it. So a certain thing you were talking about, skateboarding, I just got. So
Okay.
wow, my second thing technically, because the thing from the first game, the carts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this game has a lot of the familiar stuff from the first game. So if you played that, you're going to recognize a lot of it. And then they have tweaked a lot of them and added some new stuff as well, which is fun because even the stuff that you are comfortable with isn't one for one. which is nice. The vehicles, as an example, being able to get upgrades, whether that is like passive things or non-passive. Well, they're all kind of passive, but the non-passive items are automatic, I should say.
Oh yeah, that's something I didn't mention when I was talking about basically what the game is like, but it has all these progressive things now. Like you can upgrade your vehicles and add things to it, like an arm that will grab things or guns. But also, Sam has abilities now through, I forgot what it's called, but it's like this map that you unlock more abilities, and you only have a certain amount of points. And if you put
your
A pass,
Q something.
I think it's A pass.
Yeah.
And then also your backpack now can like hold certain things that modify the way you play.
Yeah, and it's kind of like playing Tetris with it after a while, because if you want to like have practical and unpractical like cosmetic things, you only have so much space, so you kind of have to like play around with that. I do have 4 practical items and then a ton of like patches and keychains hanging off mine, which is kind of fun that you can even do that. Plus you can like change the color of the backpack. This game has pretty okay customization. It's more than I expected from the game, but it is pretty bare. So if you're expecting like full customization, that's not here, but it does give you some choices. Like there's certain clothes where you can change the colors, vehicles you can change colors. Like the backpack is modular with like the ability to put decorations on it and practical things, but you're not like designing anything or like creating your character, for example, because you're playing a main character in this game. So but I do appreciate that they give some flair. So I'm running around right now with a very silly hat and glasses that I've themed, and I changed my backpack color to match them and stuff like that. So like it allows you to have that kind of fun. It feels very Kojima-esque in that way. Mm-hmm. So the terrain mechanics are still really good. I think they feel even better, I might say. I am enjoying the fact that there's also more like environmental hazard type stuff, like earthquakes can cause like landslides, rock slides. There's like in your desert, there's sandstorms that can happen, which are impossible to see through and slow you down a lot. Plus, when they let up, your vehicle or body are just covered in sand, which is pretty cool. That kind of like remnant stays behind, similar to how like the tar. Blood smatterings, all that kind of stuff kind of like stick around the rust.
Yeah, the attention to detail is crazy.
Yeah. So I always think that's fun, that like when you go through a situation and when you're done with that situation, it looks like you've been through something.
Yeah, there's somebody on Reddit that was doing like a no showering run, and I didn't realize you could get that dirty. Like Sam's face was just like caked in dirt, and you can see where the glasses were, but I was like, that's fucking crazy that you can get that dirty in this game.
You have a little buddy, I'm not going to say too much about it, but he often will
he's in the trailers, doll man.
Yeah, he'll give you hints and stuff like that, but also he will make comments about that. Oh, you haven't showered in a while, you should do that. So which I'm always like, all right, jerk, like you do this.
Yeah. He also serves in the game as just like a reminder of functions and mechanics and stuff, because he's constantly just telling you stuff in a passive way like that.
Yeah, and he's good 99% of the time. For some reason, he's obsessed with telling you about the sniper rifle not being silenced, which drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But everything else, he's fine. That one particular item, though, he just doesn't shut up about. So, the building mechanics from the first game are back with the roads and the other types of buildings. I don't want to get too detailed into it. There is other road type systems in this as well, which I actually use a lot, so I'm pretty happy that they added them. They do take a lot of materials, which I was a little worried about at first, but now that I've explored about half the map and I've realized that there are a ton of locations to get just like a material of choice you trade in for your chiral dust or whatever it's called. It has made that process easier, though you still have to transport it around, obviously. So it's time consuming, but you can get the materials you need just by going to a location now. So the voice work and mocap and stuff like that is like top notch, which I expected. The guy's always been really good about that. Metal Gear, and on. It's just been a constant and just improving constantly. The the little details in things like, I'm not gonna say their name, but there's a character who has like things coming out of their skin, and they kind of like are examining them, and the way like the skin moves and like some fluids happen. Super detailed. So it was
it's insane.
very cool looking. Combat in this game is better than the first game, and they give you a lot of toys really quick in this game. I have so many options of weapons. It's crazy, and like variations of them, like an assault rifle and then a lightweight one. So like, because weight's a factor when you're walking around with a bunch of stuff on your back. And then now this one has an attachment, and now the lightweight one has an attachment, and you just, that kind of stuff keeps happening. And then there's the kind of things you'd expect: pistols, shotguns, etc. So so lots of toys, and I have switched around depending on the mission. I just did a mission I'm not going to say anything about, but it was a lot of indoors. There was a bunch of people outdoors, but then there was a ton indoors, and so I made sure to bring an explosive weapon to just kind of shoot into the building, because they couldn't really dodge. So also using my vehicle as a thinning out agent as well, which was really nice. So far, I think my biggest gripe is that the story is very spread out, and breadcrumbs. It's constant breadcrumbs. And so like, I know it's just going to be one of those things that is a tie together with a finale type of thing. And though that is going to probably be satisfying, I assume, right now it's kind of not. I enjoy the moments when I get them, but then there's just huge gaps in between. So I am struggling with that a little bit. Fortunately, I enjoy the gameplay loop, so I'm just playing and having fun with it anyways. Like I said, I'm about 50 hours into the game. You can beat this game in about 40 if you just kind of rush through it, apparently. I definitely am not doing that. I am trying to speed up a little bit. I was being pretty anal retentive about like completing my freeways and stuff like that. I am now just dropping off stuff if I drive by them and I happen to have them, because you can't. I will spend over 100 hours in this game easily.
So. Yeah, that's what I started doing, because like I at first was just really getting into like 100%ing every place and like completing every project and like thinking about how to make areas better. And then I was like, I'm still just in the first fucking area. I like got to get this going. And then I also was starting to get some fatigue in the sense that I wanted more from the story and I wasn't getting it. And if you're just sitting there grinding, basically, you're not going to get the story rolling. And I needed to know if it's, worth the damn or not, because, I am playing it for that as well. I love the first game and its story. So, and I can definitely say the story gets way better once you beat it. But it does meander a lot. In fact, I thought it kind of did that. There's some cool like blips of scenes and some really cool fucking action set pieces that I just miss from Kojima, because he wasn't doing that for a while.
Yeah, I just experienced a cutscene that was in promotional material, but it was
tomorrow.
No, it was a melee fight.
Oh, the samurai.
Yeah.
And this is all stuff in trailers. So
that was so well done.
It was fucking amazing, dude. I watched that again. You didn't get to see the whole thing in the original preview, but the whole fight scene, I was like, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And there was like some like legit like samurai style like choreography too going on there, because there's like techniques. I was like, I didn't even think to do that. Like when he's down low, like moving. To keep
and he wasn't like swinging it like crazy, right? He was like doing precise strikes and stuff like that, which was really cool to see.
Such a fucking badass.
Versus like, the crazy whatever that style is with the other weapon, like
with the guitar.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to be super vague. So
I'm only talking about it openly because this is all in trailers. Anything that's not in trailers, I won't talk about. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but a lot has been spoiled in those trailers, sadly.
With context, I'm sure.
Yes, but it is kind of crazy how much they showed off. There's a lot of things I think they shouldn't have showed. But I think they were trying to get people to get excited for Death Stranding 2, because there's a lot of people who didn't even play the first game because they're like, well, it's a fucking walking simulator. So I get why they did it, but there's some stuff they should have held a little closer to the chest, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, the story I think really takes off at like chapter 12 till 17. From there, it's just you're on the roller coaster and you're going. I really enjoyed that part, but up until then, a very mysterious, vague storytelling of people going, I wonder why this is happening, or I wonder who this person is, or why they're acting like that. And then you get these, like, every once in a while, really cool fucking cinematics that are insane.
Yeah, it's very like sorry, I'm apparently can't formulate sentences. Breadcrumb, like I said before, with like, you have your personal thing you're trying to figure out. You also have your thing you're trying to figure out with this character, and then this mystery with this organization, and then like what's going on with the the beach stuff, right? And like there's just all these like little things where like here's some kind of stories, and I'm just like, this is all going to connect at some point.
Yeah.
I know it's going to, but holy crap, you guys! Like,
It's been kind of Kojima's thing ever since like MGS3 and specifically MGS4.
Yeah.
It's just like mystery, intrigue, thriller stuff, and then the end is just, this is how it all makes sense. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, like, I guess that does make sense. You
Right.
you knew what you were doing. I just the whole time was just letting you hold my hand and take me on this fucking journey.
yeah, and with the typical like, and it's fun. I'm not saying this is an insult, but like the cheese, type stuff. Like your thumbs up with the little hearts popping up, and then your thumbs down with the,
One thing I really miss, and I'm not going to talk about why or anything like that, but one thing I really miss from the first game that this game doesn't do, it like almost bummed me out, is before when you walked into BT fields in the first game, you would have the odor whatever it's called, pop up because Lou was attached to or whatever, and Lou would go, and like every time I heard that, I thought it was just funny sounding. They would just like wake up and be like, huh? But in this one, there's no
right.
just go. So I'm just like, I miss that.
Yeah, no. Instead, you just get a lot of slow mo. I would actually probably nitpick that a
lot of slow mo,
especially when you're fighting people and you're just knocking them down left and right. The game goes.
I actually love when you shoot people and it goes slow mo.
When it's like one or two people and it's like spread out, it's fine. But I was just like, I took out like 6 people in a row right beforehand, and it was just like, it went slow down, and then it came back. And I was stuck in slow mo basically for a while.
Yeah, well, I think it looks cool visually in a cinematic way because it's just kind of badass. In fact, when I edit things, I like to slow things down just to kind of show it off. But also as a gameplay mechanic, it makes combat easier. Because when it goes in slow mo, I just get my headshot aimed and I hit them, and you see it traveling, and you're like, okay, that's going to connect. So you look at the next guy, and then they get killed, and you stay in slow mo. So it's like bullet time, basically.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it. I thought you were talking about when you grab chiral crystals, the first one you grab, you'll go "Ooh," and snatch it.
Yeah.
And that would be annoying if it was constant, but it's always the first one
It's
after
just the
that.
first one,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then when you pull weapons out, it looks cool when he pulls it out in slow mo, but then every weapon you pull out does that. And I'm like, okay, it'd be cool if like per combat one time it does that.
Yeah,
but
no, I was more so when you take someone out and
Yeah.
it goes in slow mo, and like I said, I don't mind it, but when I rapid fired 6 in a row, I was like, I don't even feel like I'm being allowed to play right now.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't firing, my vehicle was doing all the work, and so I was just like trying to move this vehicle, and I couldn't because I was just stuck in slow mo. So nitpick, I'm like, obviously I don't like hate it to the point where I'm not playing the game. So it was just like, okay, it was fun the first time, but for the next couple of, like maybe every other or something, like space that a little bit. There's some fine tuning I think could be done there. And it's also just a personal preference. So yeah, other than that, it's hard for me to talk much more about it without spoiling too much. I guess the only other thing I will add is so far the environments I've seen have been very nice looking. This game has, so far for me, I've seen rocky, arid, sparsely treed, some dense tree, lots of mountains, but they did that in the first game too, or hills and stuff like that, I should say, which is pretty important mechanically for them to do that anyways. I have somewhat seen snow. I got close, and then I was like, okay, I'm wandering too far away from the story. I should turn around. Desert and beaches, and it's interesting because there are some mechanical differences, like with some of them. For example, heat does play a factor in your character's stamina and some of your parcel delivery stuff. So that was a fun little surprise to run into, even though I was getting my butt kicked in the sun while I was trying to go across the desert. Also, driving through the sand and water eats up your battery like crazy. Holy crap! So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, overall, I'm having a good time with it. It's hard for me to like love it right now because the story, like I said, it's just not in a place where I'm like, oh, that's amazing. But as a video game, like just playing it, it's a lot of fun. It's very addictive for me. I'm very much a like task person, and this game is just tasks. So like I'm very much so like my vehicle's just filled up with stuff I got to take places. And I'm like, all right, how do I do this? What's the route I'm going to take? You know, type of thing, whatever. And then yeah, I'll take the occasional break to just go take out like a bandit, you know, outpost, and then like loot the area because I often need materials to build things. So yeah, it's a lot of fun in that regard. Mostly though, visually stunning game that I'm kind of blown away is running how it does on my system. So yeah.
So I love this game. Like I said, I've beaten it, so my perspective is in more of a complete way, I guess. I loved the first game. In fact, the year that it came out, it was my game of the year. I think this game improves on everything that the first game did, which is great. The graphics are fucking amazing. It's one of the best, if not the best looking game I've ever seen. And it's running on a console, and it's running on just my normal PS5. You already went over that, but I'm not even playing this on a Pro. And it's just insane looking. The lighting is crazy, and apparently they're not using ray tracing. So that's pretty impressive.
I think a fun little story to add to that is like you had made a TikTok talking about the graphics of the game, and someone had said, well, of course it looks good. It's computer or CG trailer or something like that. And
this happens a lot whenever I talk about graphics of a game, and people will always tell me, they're like, well, yeah, you got to show gameplay and not like cutscenes and CGI. When I got that with Death Stranding, I was just like, that's funny because literally that whole video is all my gameplay.
Yeah.
It's all my gameplay. That's not from clips. That's not cinematics. That's me just driving and stopping and looking at stuff. So somebody who is trying to dismiss that the graphics are good looking by on accident making up that was not in game just really pushes even further how good this game looks because they were convinced it wasn't real. But I get it because, like I said, it's fucking crazy looking. I could talk for an hour about how this game looks probably because it's just like so impressive from the lighting to the textures to the detail. Somebody had brought up at one point that all those Unreal Engine 5 tech demos they showed off where it showed like mountains and stuff, this game looks like that. It's insane, especially in a game where you are studying terrain before you traverse it. It's really cool that they have put so much time into the visuals of that, and it runs great. I mean, it's definitely running at 30 frames per second in graphics mode, but completely playable. And then in performance mode, it runs smooth as shit. So, and it still looks good. It's just there's like the softness to the lighting and the shadows in the graphics mode that's just absolutely gorgeous. I really want to see what it looks like on a Pro, and I would love to see what it looks like on PC when it finally comes out. Although I don't think my computer is going to run at max graphics because it's just so insanely gorgeous looking. Also, the character models are the best looking character models that have ever existed in a game ever in terms of just how detailed they are. They look like the real people. They are. Somebody had said, and I agree with it, they're like, sometimes you look at somebody scanned to a game and there's that uncanny valley to it. This doesn't have that. That just looks like them. Some of the cutscenes where people are talking up close, it just looks like you're watching a video of them. But then you look at some detail and you're like, that's of course in game. It's in this engine. But these scans are so insane, and the attention to detail. It's just so crazy that it really is just a glimpse into the future of where gaming should be. When people say, "Oh, this generation doesn't really feel like next gen," this game does. And I would argue Horizon Forbidden West also was really ahead of its. I mean, it's also on Decima engine, yeah. So this engine was made for this gen, and we've only got like 2 games from it, but both of them have been incredible looking. Yeah, so graphics obviously been updated. The amount of stuff to unlock in this game is awesome, and it's something that Kojima's done forever. Even back in Metal Gear Solid, the longer you play it, the more things you get to use. So it's very, very normal, standard for him. And yeah, this just added to what we got in Death Stranding. So you have all these different tools, from bridges to like chiral bridges where you can run quicker, but if it starts raining, they go away, to launch pads that make it so wherever you land, if you go off the launch pad, you don't take damage, and that includes vehicles, which is awesome. To zip lines, which are super popular in the first game, but this one I barely used them. Just all sorts of stuff. Watchtowers that I had no idea you could connect to via like Wi-Fi. You walk up to them, you press a button, and you go to the top of it, and you're able to look around and scout stuff out. But if you're even within like the range of it, you can go to your map, click on it, and get its viewpoint from anywhere nearby. So this game's full of all these little details and gameplay stuff that I had no idea existed in the game. Like I was telling you, I didn't know there's a cover system in the game. I beat the game. I'd never heard anything about that. I never did it. And then I watched a video and somebody's like, "Oh, this game has a cover system if you didn't know." And I'm like, I didn't know that. What the fuck? There's just it's Kojima. Like it's just packed full of stuff. It's just crazy, and it's more than Death Stranding 2. So, and Death Stranding 1, it has more of. But yeah, and then it's interesting. You get 2 maps. You get Mexico, which is a smaller map, and then you get Australia, which definitely feels more comparable to the first game. And I liked exploring both of them. The environments are varied, although they are all desolate. I've had a couple people over on TikTok go like, "Yeah, I don't like how empty the world is," and I'm like, I get that. It's a valid complaint. I like it because it feels beautiful, but kind of creepy at the same time. How like dead the world is. It feels like you're on Mars. So I kind of dig that. But if somebody didn't, I completely get why, because
I get that too. Though, like, it makes complete sense when everyone lives underground. So
yeah, well, the world in Death Stranding fucking sucks.
Yeah,
like everybody just lives underground because obviously the world sucks, and the rain and all that stuff.
Well, normal people can't see BTs. So
yeah, it's just a dangerous world to exist in.
And this is Death Stranding 1 spoilers, so hopefully you've played that at least before listening to us talk about this. If a dead human body gets absorbed by a BT, it causes a huge explosion.
Turns to a nuke, yeah.
So yeah, you have to like not do that. So.
Yeah, it's a shitty world. So yeah, I get why you just live underground. Yeah. So you don't have to
instantly cremate everything. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think the world kind of lends itself to how grim that is, but it also pushes the whole point of reconnecting with people, and people are happy to see you because they don't see people and all that stuff. So yeah, I like the world, but I get why people don't. One small criticism of this game I would have liked to see improved on, and if they for some reason make a third one, hopefully they do this. I wish enemies were more dynamic. They're all at campsites or bases or whatever, and you go there, you fight them, or you take them all out. You can do all this cool stealth stuff that feels like MGS5. But once you clear it, it's empty. You take all the resources. They'll come back later, but you can always just guarantee they're going to be there. Mm-hmm. When you're out and about, you don't run into like random groups. There are bonus bosses. I'm not going to say anything more than that you can find, but they will be in specific spots. There are dudes who will attack you on the roadways, but they always spawn in the same spots on the roadway. So everything is kind of like hard baked into the map. And I wish there was some more dynamic elements of running. It doesn't have to be like marauders rolling around like in Borderlands or something, but something kind of like that. Something that makes it feel like people are traveling. Max. Yeah, traveling around. that would make the world feel a little more random, I guess, outside of like the weather and stuff. But yeah, other than that, like the combat's a lot of fun. I just wish it was a little more random and less like I know what I'm getting into every single time. Yeah, the music's fantastic, of course, and then all the stuff that's been picked for this game. I do miss just hearing Low Roar constantly. Rest in peace, Low Roar. But it was such a vibe in the first game. I love that band. But and they're in this as well. But there's all sorts of new stuff in this as well. But you have Woodkid, I think his name is, doing a lot of the main theming of the game, and he does a good job. He's not Low Roar, but he's good. I like his music. So, but it still maintains this down tempo, melancholy, beautiful, dark vibe that I really enjoy. And then the music of the game itself, not just the soundtrack, is very well done, very Kojima, which I really liked. Yeah, I mean overall it's just a better fucking version of Death Stranding. I saw some dude, I always see him on my TikTok, I think he's popular somewhere, but he was talking about how he didn't like the original Death Stranding, and then he likes Death Stranding 2 because it's like it's more gamified than the first game, but he didn't put any detail on what he meant on that. And I thought that was funny because this is literally the same gameplay loop as the first game. It's the exact same game, just with more shit. So if that allowed you to appreciate the gameplay loop in 2, that's good. That's a different discussion, but when you say that it's a better game because it's more gamified, like the first game did most of this stuff, just had less ways to do it. So I think that's kind of a cop out on why you like this one. But I do think it is a better version of the first game, and I love the first game. So although I feel like I'm driving way more in this game than I did in the first game, which I'm choosing to, but it kind of sucks. I miss.
Drive everywhere.
I drive. You can drive fucking everywhere in this game, and I will because it's just faster. I remember in the first game driving where I could, walking most of the time, and then when you get the zip lines, it's like a revelation. You're like, I can fucking get everywhere easily now. And now I'm just like, no, I'll just drive. I can carry so much shit in this bad boy, this big fat van I have. I'll just drive that shit right over a mountain. And it'll go. And there's upgrades that will make that thing drive off-road even better and all sorts of stuff. So, and it has like things that will shoot arms out and grab things off the ground for you, like packages. So you don't even have to fucking think. You're just driving to your destination and it's just grabbing everything up. So, yeah, I'm not complaining about that, but I do kind of wish they would have made some areas harder to drive in, so you would have to walk more. But yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I noticed that. I was feeling that like not today, but yesterday when I was playing, I was like, man, I feel like I've just been sitting in this car for hours.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was like, I have zero complaints with my experience of playing the game. Like I was having a blast, but I drove a lot, which was really weird. So, oh, and performances. Everyone does a great job in this game. Met with great mocapping. Troy Baker returning. I think he's a lot of fun in this. Towards the end, I won't say anything, but there is a scene, and his performance is fucking good. I was like, this is the fucking legendary Troy Baker right here. He's in a bunch of stuff now because he's super famous, but I'm like, this is why he got fucking big. It's because he can play these scenes so well. I mean, like, he's just acting circles around fucking Norman Reedus, who I don't think is the best actor out there, but he does what he needs to as Sam, and that's fine. He's not bad, but in this game, he barely speaks for most of the game, which kind of fucking is annoying, but he just kind of shows up, everybody talks around him, he goes, huh, and he like walks off.
I noticed that.
Yeah, it's like he wasn't available for those scenes or something. I don't know, but he has more to say later in the game. But yeah, Troy Baker does a fantastic job. Everybody does a really good job. Ella Fanning, that's her name, who plays Tomorrow, does a good job. Luca something with an M, the guy who plays Neil, I liked him a lot, specifically when the story opens up more about him. So that's cool. And yeah, all the performances are fantastic. And I have to emphasize, I was in this weird place when I was thinking about this as a review. I was like, as I'm playing this, everything's better than Death Stranding 2, but the story doesn't feel like it is, and I have to be honest with that, because I'm a Kojima fanboy, so it's easy for me to just go, it's great, it's amazing, but up until about Chapter 12, I was like, this is not as good as Death Stranding in terms of story. That's the only thing that's not as good. Everything else is better than Death Stranding 2. But then once the story takes off, again, not talking about it, I all of a sudden got really invested in the story. I was like, oh, this is fucking good. Okay, cool. And then by the time you beat it, some things I kind of predicted happened, but the way it all unravels, I was very satisfied with. I would say...
So I feel like Final Fantasy 15 to me, like where the beginning and the end are like so like story packed and like really good, and then the middle is just like, we're here.
Yeah. Though there are some really cool cutscenes in between, but the story does go in a really cool place, and there's some shit at the fucking like last 2-3 chapters visually that are so cool. With story, it's just like, I'm like, this is fucking Kojima. This is peak Kojima. This is what he offers that other people just don't have the mind or balls to do, because he's just willing to do whatever the fuck he thinks sounds cool, and he does it, and it's like, nobody would do this. Nobody would do this in a game, except for Kojima, and that's why I love his game so much. So stick with the story, keep playing it. It will get better. And there's some peak fucking video game cinema in this game. But yeah, overall, better than Death Stranding in every way, except for the story is, I would say, about as good, although there are some themes and elements in the first story that I kind of missed, but the story can't offer that anymore. So we are where we are, but I don't want to talk about it. I was going to say, the story gets kind of Kojima-y in this one quite a bit. I think Kojima misses Metal Gear Solid. Because it starts getting a little fucking weird. I'm like, you always do this. You always make a story. It's fucking solid. You love it. Solid. And then you get a little fucking wacky with it, but in like a really intriguing, like, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
But yeah, love this game. Definitely one of the top 3, if not the best games of the year for me so far. So absolutely love it. Anything else?
No.
All right. Recommendations. If you like Kojima, you already played it, so that would be a recommendation. If you loosely, if you're somebody who never played Death Stranding 2, go back and play Death Stranding. But so this is a recommendation for Death Stranding as well. But if you looked at this game, you're like, that's a walking simulator. Play it longer than 2 to 4 hours. This game offers all sorts of shit that every other game on the planet fucking offers when it comes to third-person action games. It has shooting, it has really good stealth mechanics, has driving. It just, you walk in it like you walk in any other game that has walking in it, but this has a terrain mechanic because you can trip, because it's...
And balance, yeah.
And balance, because you are carrying stuff that can be damaged that affects your grade. It's just any other third-person action game where you walk around with more mechanics. Because it's centered around the idea of delivering packages. So if that turned you off, I would say give it another try. Definitely play the second one. It's a better game. It has a recap if you don't want to play the first one. You should, but you don't have to. It is a fun game to play. If you like stealth games, specifically Metal Gear Solid, you miss those games. This is the closest thing we have to a Metal Gear Solid 6. And so... play it for that. If you like the idea of like group projects where you're working together with random people to build things, there's not a lot of games that offer this outside of if you're just playing like Ark with your friends and you're all working towards the same project. But this has a really creative, like Dark Souls-esque, like ambient multiplayer that's happening all around you that is just an experience that you don't get anywhere else. It's a really neat experience. If you like the idea of delivering packages, if you've played like an indie game where you have to do that, you're probably already playing this game because it's a AAA version of that. And then games with a lot of stuff to collect, a lot of stuff to unlock, a lot of things to 100%. This game will keep you busy. There's so much shit to do in this game. So much so that you might get distracted from just playing the fucking story. And then if you're somebody who's into really crazy ideas, cerebral thriller stuff, sci-fi, dark storytelling and imagery, you should play any Kojima game. But this one, if you're like into like weird fucking cinema and shit, you're gonna love this game. It's so out there, so much creativity. Yeah.
I mean, you kind of touched on it when you said the package, delivery thing. But I was gonna say, if you're just like really task oriented, this game's kind of hard to put down.
For sure.
I will just have like a million things I've just found, going from point A to point B, and I'll look through my inventory. I'm like, I mean, I'm heading that way anyways. I could detour and like, drop these off type of thing. And then next thing I know, it's like been 5 hours and I've done like 2 missions for the story. So
there's a couple nights where I come home from work and I was like, oh, let's knock out a couple things. And I look at the clock and it's like 5 a.m. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like so busy doing these things. And I'm like, okay, one more package. And I'm driving. And part of me is like getting tired. But the other part of me is like, I have to deliver this. I want to get whatever unlocks when I get to 5 stars.
Turn into an 18-wheeler driver.
Yeah. I'm just like driving back and forth constantly. And I'm like, is this what I'm doing? Is this fun? But people out there play fucking like truck driver simulators and shit. And that's not what this is. But there's games that people just enjoy doing that with. So I kind of understand that appeal now through playing this.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, just
Okay.
Everything you said, and then if you like having constant tasks to do, this is what this game is. So
yeah. So nothing else. Okay, let's grade it. I'm gonna go with I originally was gonna give this an A as I was playing through it, but now that I've beaten it, I'm giving it the A plus. I think the story gets to where I wanted it to be. It just takes a while to fucking get there, and that is kind of. I think pacing is an issue when it comes to the story in this game, but the rest of the game is just solid. But once it takes off, like I said, like chapter 12, it just goes. It's really fucking good. So I can give it that A plus I wanted to give it, just because I want every Kojima game to be great. But there was a time there where I was like, am I going to give this? I don't know if I can give this an A plus because the story's not really doing anything. But yeah, it's an A plus game for me. Between the enhanced combat and gameplay mechanics, the upgrade systems of your backpack and your A-Pass, having all these cool passives to change and modify the way you play, to the visuals that are like second to fucking nobody. These are like some of the best visuals ever, with great tech when it comes to the mocapping, and then the story that actually gets good. It's a great game. So A plus.
Yeah, I'm definitely not there story wise. So
Yeah.
where I'm at in the game, I'm gonna give it a B plus right now. I'm having a lot of fun with it, but I really would like some story. The little bit I just got with the fight, and then kind of like another breadcrumb of what's happening there. I thoroughly enjoyed, but it was over, and I was like, okay. Back to wander around getting people going like, what was that? I'm like, I don't know. Please help me. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I am going to continue playing it. I do plan on beating it. It's just a journey. I need to try not to get so sidetracked. So
Yeah, definitely try to like beat it because you're starting to get some games you're almost at the end of that. Hopefully those don't keep building up, because I know what was the RPG we played that you were getting there with? I can't remember.
Getting there? I played Clair Obscur, but
yeah,
I wasn't getting anywhere with that.
Well, no, there's another one too that we played. The Atlas game. That's like
I didn't get that far in that one. ReFantasio.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying you don't want a bunch of games you're like halfway through because it might become a lot. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, so B plus, A plus. We like it. Let us know in the comments what do you guys think about Death Stranding 2. Have you beaten it? Have you not beaten it? If you have beaten it, please no spoilers. What'd you think of it? Is there anything in the game that we didn't talk about that you would like to talk about? If you haven't played it, why haven't you played it? Are you planning on playing it? And if you did play it and there's things about it you didn't like, we can talk about that. Let us know what you didn't like in the comments. Just don't be a dick about it. It's not productive, but let me know. Let me know your complaints about it. And yeah, let us know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to Death Stranding 2. That's going to do it for this episode. A very delayed episode of Game of the Month. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you, Chevy, for joining me. Thank you guys for sticking through the whole episode. Stay tuned. We'll have more videos coming out soon. We actually have been pumping out a bunch of videos. I think we've put out more videos in the last couple of days than we did in all of last month.
That sounds about right.
So, because last month was just fucking busy. So yeah, watch those as well. And if you have anything you want us to react to or discuss, let us know in the comments below. I've been Seth, and until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.